Well, hello there. This is Axe Timberlake. I'm the owner and governor of WestWorld 2. And as promised, we have decided that we were going to do some tutorial videos um, to let people know processes and procedures of using different items within WestWorld roleplay server. So without further ado, I'm going to start out with the very first tutorial on Moonshine and how to acquire the items, what to do with the items, and then some of the effects of the Moonshine, etc., etc., etc. So to start off with, Moonshine is the ability for everybody within the Westworld community to be able to do. You'll have to acquire a few items before you can start processing and producing moonshine. And then once you get the moonshine in your inventory, then you'll be able to sell it at a couple places, mainly at saloons and at doctors' offices. The saloon basically is for drinking, and the doctor's offices will be using the moonshine as a basis of producing alcohol for antiseptic. Okay, so it is a free market item. It is basically a item that is bootleg and outlawed. However, once you have the bottles in your possession, then it is not an outlawed item. So just producing it, we need to be on the down low and QT, um, just to kind of make sure that the law enforcement doesn't come upon it. Another item of note is once you place the moonshine still, then anybody that is around can pick that up and steal it from you. So I would pick and choose the place where I produce moonshine very carefully, away from the beaten path and away from populous areas. You can place the moonshine still anywhere in the Westworld um, map area, including cities, including streets and roads. I wouldn't suggest that, but you're welcome to do that. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to show you how to get uh, the items, how to use the items, and then we'll we'll show you how to use the moonshine and what the effects are of it. So as you can see right now, we're in Saint Denis at the docking area, just adjacent to the railroad tracks. We're also just close to the butcher area that's in Saint Denis. So if you look across, you're going to see a PED that's standing there. This PED actually changes from restart to restart, so it may be different than the one you're seeing in this video. The next time you come in, it may be different or it may be the same. It does a random PED for this. This individual is on the outlaw list. As you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a red skull. So he does tend to be very cautious about offering items to you, but let's get on with it. Okay. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to come over and start talking to him. When you come up and near him, you're going to get an activate with an F key menu, as it says right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate him. This menu right here, the action menu, be advised that some portions of the menu can be um, clipped off at the bottom, so you may have to scroll down or up to get to different items. Just be aware that there might be some hidden items that are down at the bottom and you won't see them until you scroll up or scroll down. Okay. So once you get here, you're going to go into the shop. You're going to see the distillery, prices of spice, shovel, hint, moonshine brewery, or still, and wood. Okay. Spice, $50 per 5. I'm not going to tell you the exact amount that you're going to need to run a moonshine run, but I will tell you that you may need to come back here a couple, 3 times to get more of the ingredients that you need. Okay, so $50 for 5 spice. The shovel is a one-time use. You should be able to get the shovel from blacksmith as well, and it probably will be a little bit cheaper to get it from the blacksmith, depending upon which blacksmith and who is the owner of the blacksmith shop. In this right here, since he is an outlaw, so to speak, and selling stuff on the black market, $100 for 1 shovel. The hint you will need, and again, the shovel is a one-time use. The hint is a one-time use as well. You won't have to buy more than 1 hint. So $500 for 1 hint. The moonshine still is $2,000. It's a one-off buy. If you blow up your still, which you can easily do if you don't mind the procedures and what I'm going through on this tutorial, you may blow up your still. You can buy a new one, or you can buy a repair kit from this individual. I don't have it in the menu right now, but it will be in here that you'll be able to buy a repair kit from him. And then wood, you can get wood here, $5 for 5 pieces of wood. You can also get an axe from the blacksmith and go and chop your own trees and get the wood that way. Probably a little bit cheaper than that, but $5 for 5. And again, you may have to come back in and get more wood while you're there. Okay, so once you get those items, then they will go into your inventory. Okay, and you're going to need a few other items as well. So the very first thing that you're going to need is the hint. So once you get the hint, it will look something like this. Okay, and as the hint says, by the Valentine tree to the west, go ahead and dig. Once you get that hint, and you won't be able to dig until you get by the hint from this ped right here. We'll show you on the map. So basically, in Valentine, excuse me, I have a dry throat. The west of Valentine, so in this area right here, you're going to be searching for a tree that will give you an interaction F menu in this area right here. Once you find that tree, it will have in the bottom right hand corner an interact F. You press the interact F and it will say go ahead and dig. You must have the shovel to dig. If you don't have the shovel, it won't let you open up the interact F, but you will need to dig. Once you dig in this area here, I know that it's a lot of area to cover, but it's somewhere to the west of Valentine. Okay, once you get an idea where the trees are located, it's pretty easy to find, and so on and so forth. Once you dig, you're going to get the recipe, and the recipe is going to look somewhat like this right here, recipe for moonshine. I'm not going to open that up because I don't want to show you the exact amounts that you're going to need. But it's going to give you 3 items on the recipe. One is going to be corn, one is going to be herbs, and one is going to be spices. Okay, and there's going to be 2 numbers. There's going to be a number and then a backslash and then another number. That's the range of the number that you need. Okay, you can have the minimum or you can have the maximum. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get better or worse quality of moonshine. So anyway, once you get that, okay, again, you're going to have your wood there and your shovel and so on and so forth. Okay, so once you get that, now you need to go to a general store and you need to get some bottles. The bottles are going to look like this, just empty bottles. I've got 10. Usually on a good run, you're probably going to need anywhere from 15 to maybe even 20 bottles. It depends on how long you make it the run. Okay, your moonshine still will look like this. Wood. Your spices will look like this. Your corn will look like that, and your herbs will look like this. Okay. So once you get that, you'll also need a water. You can get that at the general store, and you'll use that as well. Okay. So now where do we find the corn? So I'm going to take you to the place where the corn is, and then I'm going to take you where the herbs are. So the corn is down here in Bathwaite Manor. Okay. And basically, if you go to close to this house that's for sale, right here, then you'll be in the right general vicinity of where you need to go. TPM, there we go. Okay, once you get here, you're going to see these cornfields. Everything is right here. What you're going to need to do is basically walk around until you see the Interact F. It's a search to find spot. This spot does move from restart to restart. So once you get in there, then you'll be able to find it the first time, but it may not be there the next time that you come there. Okay. I would suggest anywhere from 10 to 15 corn. Once you find the spot and interact with it, I think you get 5. You may get 10. I'm not entirely sure how many you're going to get, but I would say that you need anywhere from 10 to 15. Okay, and you'll be able to find it. It can be anywhere between the house and the cornfields, and between that house property over there and the edge of the property with those trees over there. It can also be down by the corn processing plant barn down there, or anywhere in the rows of the corn as well. So there's quite a few places that it can be. Just generally walk around and try and find the interact spot and then get the corn. Okay. Once you get the corn, then you're going to need to go get the herbs. So the herbs are over here at Caliga Hall along this road right here. So if you go to this spot here, I will show you basically. So if you, between the huts right there, the end of the field and the top of the field up by the fence, and between the first full row of tobacco there, and also up to the first row of tobacco here. So basically anywhere in this area right in here can be the herbs. And again, it's a search and find. Walk up to it and you'll have an interaction F menu key, and you'll be able to pick the herbs. I would do at least a couple interactions with it to get enough herbs that you need, maybe even 3 times, and then once you get that that inventory item, then you're good to go. The spice again can only be bought at the black market in Saint Denis, and so forth. So once you get all of that together, you're going to have, like I said, you're going to have the corn, the herb, and the spices. And the wood. You're going to also have the hint and the recipe. Okay. Now you're going to want to find and your bottles and your water. Okay, those are the items that you're going to need. And then you're going to want to find a discrete place for to place your still. What I would do is find a out of the way place. For instance, we'll go up here into Gator Country, and we'll start running the still there. Okay. If you don't have all the items and you just have the still, you'll be able to place the still, but you won't be able to start the run for Moonshine. So what I do is I basically find an out of the way place, and again, like I said, if you put it out in the open where everybody can see it, somebody can come along and interact with it and steal it from you. Okay, so basically you want a clear space. I'll pick right here. We'll go in here and we'll place the still. It asked me to confirm. There we go. We're going to confirm it. And so there we do. We've got our still and our barrel collection. Okay, so once you come over here, you're going to interact with it. This is your interaction menu with the still. It's manage. So these are the different items. And again, like I said, scroll down, you'll be able to see other processes that are down here that are important as well. So we'll go item by item and I'll explain it. As you're processing the water and all of the ingredients, you're going to collect steam up in the collector. Okay, what you want to do is basically keep the steam to less than half full. What I do is basically in the area of about a third or less. Whenever I see a blue indicator in here that there's some steam, then I press this and it will release the steam. Once it releases the steam, then that condensation will come down and it will produce moonshine in liters. Okay, not that you will not produce moonshine with no steam, because as the process goes, some of it automatically goes into moonshine and some of it automatically goes into steam. It's just that the health of the still, you can't let the steam get past 60-70%, or else it may explode. Temperature, you're going to want to run a temperature probably about half to 70% on your temperature, no more than that. You can control the temperature by adding water or releasing steam. It'll keep the temperature down. What I would do is I would add the wood or down here in very small amounts and watch what it does with the temperature. That way you don't get it up too high. Okay, water, you're going to add your water in here. What I would do is I would add about 50 to 60% of the capacity of water. That way you have room to add other water to control the temperature. But the water will also produce steam and will produce moonshine. Your corn you're going to add here, your herbs you're going to add here, and your spices you're going to add here. Condition of your still is right here. Mine's in the green. That means that it's still healthy. There's no bad condition. Once it gets down in this area or up in this area, it could be very dangerous. There will be the ability to buy a repair kit to where you can repair the condition of your still. Wood is added right here. Once you start adding the wood, the temperature will go up, and then the process will start, and the progress will show you the progress of here. Once it gets to the very end, it will not produce any more moonshine. What normally is right about a 10 to 20% is when it'll start producing some good moonshine. Okay, and then destroy the brewery or destroy the still. We'll put this back into your inventory. Okay, it will pack up everything that's within the still and put it in your inventory. Okay, if you cut the progress short, say at 60%, you cut it short, unless you drop the still, sell the still, or someone steals it, you'll still have the ingredients for that run. Once it gets to the progress all the way to the 100%, then it removes all the items that you have, and you'll have to go collect new items for a new run on your still. Okay, the liters, it will accumulate the liter in here, and it has a whole number and a decimal number. Okay, you can start drawing out moonshine when there is 0.5 or greater. Every time that you click on the liter and it puts it in a bottle, it removes 0.5 liters to fill up that bottle. Okay. A lot of times you'll see, let's say, a 1.0 here, and you click on it, and it'll go down to 0.9. That means that it was still producing moonshine when you were clicking on this, and it was basically at 1.4, but had not updated this menu item. So don't be alarmed at that if you see that. Okay. So without further ado, let's get into producing some moonshine. So we're going to add the water. If you click on an item and it goes to the bottom down there with that blue timer, then that means that it's functioning well. If you don't have an item and you click on that menu and you don't have it, then you're going to get a red placard up at the very top that says "Not Now." That means that you're missing something or something is not correct with the interaction. So as we go back in here, you're going to see water has been added. We're going to add water until it gets about the 50-60% mark. Just keep adding water. This is not a process that is short. It'll take some time to make this. Keep that in mind when you're selling it and what the market brings or whatever, and you can charge basically what you want. Again, everyone in the world can produce moonshine if they have all the ingredients in the menu or the recipe and the hint. So supply and demand the more people produce moonshine, the less it's going to bring you when you sell it. Just because the doctor or the saloon is not going to pay your exuberant price when they can get it from someone else. Okay, so we're a little bit past halfway mark. I'm going to add one more water, and then we'll see what it looks like there. It should be, yeah, that's about where you want the water to be, about 60-70% right there. Okay, so let's start adding corn. I've got a certain amount in my inventory, so I'm just going to add it all in here. That is not necessarily the minimum, and it's not necessarily the maximum. Again, when you look at the recipe, you'll be able to see what the minimum and the maximum is. I just happen to have somewhere in between. Okay, so we're going to do this. Once we get that full of corn, the mash will be ready to start boiling. Okay, so we've got 8, and we're going to do a couple more in here, and 10 ought to get us started. Okay, so once we get 10 in there, we're going to go into the herbs. And again, I'm not putting in the minimum, I'm not putting in the maximum. I just am putting in basically what I have in my inventory. And again, if you look at the recipe, it'll show you exactly the minimum that you need or the maximum that you can have. 8 ought to be enough. I think that's all that I have in inventory. So anyway, we go down to spices. We're going to add a few spices to it. We'll do this. And we'll add one more just in case. There we go. Okay, so now we've got water, we got corn, we got herbs, we got spices. Now we need to go down and start the fire, so we're going to add some wood. And again, we want to add wood until it gets about 50%. And see if the process starts. And we're about 50% right there, so we're going to give it about one more. And as we see, the steam is starting to increase right here. Our temperature is starting to increase. So let's just sit here and see what kind of progress we get. Again, there's no liters yet because it's just starting to run. Now, what you can do is once you've gotten to this point where you've got the wood going, the condition is good, spices, herbs, and corn and water is all good, you can actually, you can go and walk around, do whatever you want to do. For those that have never been in the Moonshine building, you can go into the Moonshine building, go through this door. As you go in this door, you can either go in this door right here, that's the office manager of the Moonshine, or the owner of the Moonshine's office in their bedroom, or you can go downstairs. Once you go downstairs, and again, we're sitting here walking around in here, but our moonshine still is still producing and still boiling outside. So you can walk around, and you don't have to actually sit there and watch. As they say, a pot of hot water never boils, or when it's watched. So anyway, this is down here. And there's things in here that you can interact with. I think there's some food or nuts right here or something anyway. We are going to put a lot more items in here, like a bartender, and you can actually order drinks in here. You can play the piano. You can do different things in here. I've seen in other worlds where they've had boxing matches, where you can bet on who you think's going to win, and so on and so forth. So to get out of here, all you got to do is go back upstairs to the door and then press the left alt, and you'll be able to get out of here. And we hit the left alt, and it allows us to exit the building. Now, later on, we will have the ability to sell these Moonshine interiors or hideouts. Once somebody sells them or buys them, we will be able to put a password on the door and the use of it, and only those people that the owner allows in will be able to enter into it. So as we're getting here, see how the steam is going up. We've got 0.4 on the liters. Fire condition is good. Still condition of the still is good. So we're going to let off a little bit of steam just to keep it within the range that we want. And as we do that, more and more moonshine is going to be added to our inventory there. Once it gets above 0.5, you can put it in the bottles. Our progress is going right now. Again, once it gets over to all the way to the right, then that's 100% progress, and then it doesn't produce anymore. So anyway, as you're going around, you can do all that. The heat or temperature wasn't all the way to the right, so we're good to go there. We'll go over here and mess with these alligators a little bit. Well, he didn't like that. Let's get this guy. And this is a good example to show right now. If you don't have a big gun, don't be messing with these alligators. There's some fish out there. I don't know if I'd want to fish or whatever, but there's another one over there. Let's see. There's another one here. So let's get a big gun. We'll mess with him. There we go. We'll get a big gun. I want to get him from the side. Make sure that I'm not walking up on a gator that's going to eat me. And there we go. We're going to see here now. There we go. So now that you got the gator, you can come over and get your pelt and some gator meat. Okay, there we go. Got me a pelt, and I got some game meat, alligator tooth, and alligator pelt. Okay. So there we go. We're going to put that away. You can actually pick up the gator and take him and sell him for meat. But I just wanted to waste some time. So the next tutorial that I'm going to do is how to do crawfish. If anybody has never done crawfish, that way you'll be able to see it. There's a couple places where we're setting up for crawfish. And notice how we've got 1.5, a little over 1.5 liters. We're going to let off the steam a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start filling some bottles. So now we've got 2. So we're going to do this. If you didn't have bottles or the right ingredients and everything, it'll come up and it'll show you that you don't have enough. So that should have decreased. Yep. So we're going to decrease it. So we've got enough for 2 more bottles. There we go. And then so we do that. See how that not now? That means that it's not quite 0.5. It says 0.5, but it's rounded up, so it's not quite 0.5 right now. So let's make sure that we got all the steam out of there. Everything's good. Temperature's good. Water's still in there. All of our ingredients. It doesn't reduce the ingredients as it's building, but when you get done with the run, then it actually takes these ingredients out. Okay, so there's 0.9, so that's going to give us down to 0.4, I believe. Yeah, 0.4. Condition is still good. Fire is still good, and the progress is about 1/4 of the way. Okay, so we're going to do that. So back to our crawdads. Yeah, you're going to be able to find a couple places where you'll be able to fish and find crawdads. Once you get those, then you can take them to a general store and sell them. We're going to set up a couple dishes, kind of like jambalaya, that'll take crawdads to where you can craft some crawfish dinner and have it for food. you'll be able to sell it to individuals, and you'll be able to sell it to general stores. Again, let me reiterate, we're going to have player stores, shops, where you can set up your own shop. If you're making moonshine, you can set up a moonshine shop somewhere. I wouldn't put it in the obvious, because again, if you're selling moonshine, the law enforcement might give you a little bit of a hassle, but you can set it up as you want. And again, crawfish, you can, if you want to start making some money, you can start fishing for crawfish and set up a player crawfish store to where you can sell to anybody that comes by. Let's see, we got 0.8. Let's get another bottle. So now, as you're doing this, all these bottles are going into your inventory, and as you can see right here, I've got 5 bottles of moonshine. I got 5 empty bottles. So we'll do 5 more empty bottles worth, and then we'll shut down the process. And there you go. This brings up a good point. If you see this TMP on your inventory, please send me a message, because that means that there's no image for that inventory item, and we'll place an image in there real quick, and that way everything has got an image for it. We like to go with the colored images rather than the black and white ones. And also another thing in here, you're going to get a bird alert inventory items. You cannot remove that from your inventory item. What that is that bird alert is a required item in your inventory. So if you get hurt or killed in the game, what that will do is that'll alert police or medics to come and help you out. Okay, and it will give the police and medics your exact location with a pin on the map, to where they can come and take care of you and save you. Okay. There we go. Everything else is good. All right. So let's see if we've got some more in there. Like I said, I've got 5 more bottles, so I want to fill those up. I got some more steam. We've got 2 bottles that we can fill up here. And let's do this. There we go. All right. So now we've got 3 more bottles that we can fill. The condition's good, wire's good, progress is good. Okay. Fire, the temperature hasn't gone up too much, too bad. We can add water, and that should bring the temperature down just a little bit. The good rule of thumb is don't max it out right off the bat. Give it some room to expand or increase or decrease. And there you go. If at any time that you see something that isn't working right, please by all means send me or any one of my admin people a Discord message. Let us know, and that way we can fix the problems that we see. If you have any questions whatsoever, all 3 of us, Wookie, Funky, and myself, are available. Just send us a message, and we're more than glad to answer any questions. Me and Wookie are very integrated with the script system, so we pretty much know how the scripts are working and not working, and what to do within them. And I'm going to be putting out a whole bunch of tutorials of how to do different things as we progress in with the server. Okay, so let's go back in here. Yeah, we got enough for 1 more bottle, so that means I've got 2 more empty bottles. So we're going to see what we can do. I saw a little bit of steam, so let's take out some of that steam. There we go. 0.4. We'll give it a little bit more time in there. There are quite a few places, i.e. this place right here, I like to set up a still, because again, you're right here by the Moonshine hut or shack. There's a bunch of other Moonshine shacks if you'll look and notice. There's some over here, I believe. One here. There's some other ones down in here somewhere. Okay. I believe. There's this one, and there should be one up in here somewhere, I believe. No, maybe not. There's one right there. Out of Valentine. Another good place, if you go up here by the lake, there's some groves and things that you can go in there and put the Moonshine still in there. It'll be out of the beaten path. There we go. We got two more in there. There we go. So now I've used all of my bottles. Notice, like I said, I don't have any more bottles. I've got water, but I don't have empty bottles. So if I go in here and I try to, let's say, yeah, I got 0.2. Let's get it up to 0.5, and I will show you that I can't do anything because I don't have the bottles. 0.2. Let's give it some time. So anyway, while we're waiting for this last little bit so I can show you, I want to shout out to everyone that's part of the WestWorld team and WestWorld family. We appreciate you being part of our role-playing server. Without you, this server just sits dormant and nothing goes on. The more you come in, the more interaction that you do, the more enjoyment and entertainment that we have. We do encourage people to stream on your your streaming outlets, Twitch, YouTube, and other social media. The more you stream and the more you publicize that we're here, the more it will entice people to join, and the more that people join, the more entertainment and the more interaction we'll have. So it's a free way to get advertising. So we encourage it 100%. Anybody that wants to stream, by all means, do so. Okay, so I've got basically I got enough to do 2 more liters or 2 more bottles, but I don't have any empty bottles. So when I do that, see, it says not now Moonshine. If I was to get menu, nope, back. I go to the database and I go to me and I give me bottle times 2. There we go. So now if I go back in and I say, okay, now that I have 2 more bottles, I'll be able to do it. So again, if you don't have the right ingredients and you see the not now flag at the top, look and see what all you've got in there or in your inventory that you need and you don't have, and then take care of that. Okay. So now we've got basically a lot. The progress is about 60%. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you when you destroy the still, what it does is it basically picks up the still and puts it back in your inventory. It will, since we didn't go to 100% on the progress, it will maintain this ingredients to where I can place it down anywhere else that I want to. So here we go. We're going to pick it up. And there it is. Okay, and so if I wanted to pick it up and I wanted to go over to this other shack right over here, you know, if let's say somebody's getting close or giving you a hard time, you can pick it up and they can't get it out of your inventory. You can run it over here and you can say, okay, I think I'm gonna put it right here behind this shack, right here, and we place it down, right there, and then we say, okay, yeah, fine. Once you place it down there, you can interact with it again, and like I said, you do this, all of your ingredients are still there. Okay, and if I had another bottle, then I could throw another bottle of moonshine in there. You can release the steam. Let me get another bottle, and I'll show you that it is doing that. Okay. Oh. Now I can go back over there, and since I picked it up and it didn't get rid of any of the ingredients, I can go in here and I can get some more moonshine. There you go. Okay. And our progress is about 60 to 70% right there. Notice, everything is still within good range. It said not now because there wasn't enough steam for me to release in there. It usually has to be up in about this area right up in here for me to do it. Okay. Condition is still good and green. Progress is still there. And we are good to go, I believe. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you in the inventory what the moonshine looks like. It's this right here. Just from those ingredients right now, I've got 10 moonshine. Okay, and I think that I've done more than 10 bottles because I did have I think 6, and then I put 3, and then I put another 3. So that means 9, 10. I've got 11 that I've done. So we've got this limited to 10 bottles per run, or 10 bottles for inventory. What I'll do is I'll probably increase that up to 15. That way you'll have enough for a full run, and then you'll have it. Okay. So there we are. That's the moonshine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this up and put it back in my inventory. Once it's back in your inventory, it'll stay in there unless you put it in storage someplace or in your stash. Okay. And then a little word of caution: when you do drink the moonshine, you will have your dependency on a drug or alcohol will go up. Notice down at the bottom the black and white pill is increasing, and it says you're getting drunk, and now when you walk you're going to stagger all over the place. You try and run, you may fall down flat on your face. I would not get in a gunfight with anybody after I've been drinking, because again, you're just staggering all over the place. Okay, a little drunk.